There, I'm Carrie, and I wanted to do a video about Mental Health Awareness Month and hope that it helps break the stigma surrounding mental illness. I happen to be a high-functioning mentally ill person. I'm coming out. When I was a kid, I had really severe behavioral issues, and they didn't realize it was ADHD at the time, but they were so bad. I was so impulsive, out of my seat, talking, interacting, disobeying, that they decided to put me into special education classes for 3 years. And my teachers used special techniques to help me behave better, and I learned how to behave and not get into trouble so much. But still, I think that 3 years in the special education system hindered my social skills a bit, because I was around people who weren't neurotypical, and I developed some of their behaviorisms or quirks maybe. When I was reintegrated into the mainstream class in 4th grade, my peers constantly teased me and reminded me how different I was. I was happier playing with younger kids who looked up to me, so I lagged behind socially. In middle school, kids doubled down on pointing out my flaws. That's the worst time of life for most people, especially people with mental health issues, I'm sure. I got extremely self-conscious. I worried people were constantly watching me and judging me. And I would just be like stiff as a board walking through the hallway, and it could be like, "Look, she never moves her head," and they'd say comments like that, and that would make me even more self-conscious. So that was the beginning of my social anxiety disorder, which is worrying that people are constantly judging you, which I still do. Let's see, when I went to camp in middle school, we all circled up and sat down, and I sat down next to a gal and gave her what I thought was a perfectly friendly smile. She went and said, "Amy, you sit here," and put her friend in between us. And that just devastated me, and I don't know what I did wrong. Maybe I smiled. She thought I smiled flirtatiously or something. But ever since then, I've been extremely self-conscious about my facial expressions. I would say that all my facial expressions are forced. They're not natural. I try to look pleasantly neutral or appropriate to the situation. My psychiatrists have written that I had a restricted affect, and people have told me to be more demonstrative. I know I'm very sedate, understated, but people have said, be more expressive. So if you ever see me with weird or unreadable facial expressions, I want you to know it's not you, it's me and my social anxiety disorder, and being obsessed with how I look to people. So some of the things I've used to try to cope with these mental health issues, ADD stimulants didn't help. They just made me more anxious. So for ADD, I just basically use apps on my phone that remind me, when to get things done and stuff. And for the social anxiety disorder, I take antidepressants and anti-anxiety pills, some supplements. I go to therapy. I like positive affirmations and self-help books. And let's see. Oh, I forgot to mention, let's see, sorry. Where did it go? Okay, this is ADD. Where the heck did it go? Oh, here we go. Sorry. So yeah, so nowadays, one thing I do to try and help myself is go to social events. I force myself to go and interact with people a bit. And then I get happier and happier as people leave. And eventually, I'm the last person in the building and I get to be by myself as I am now. And that's when I'm happiest. But at least I bit the bullet and tried to stretch my comfort zone by being with people. So yeah, and I'm actually able to perform pretty well. It's the social interaction that scares me, but I can go up and sing solos and give speeches and stuff, but social stuff is just scary for me. So those are a couple of my issues. I might talk about my depression and obsessive compulsive personality disorder in the future. So that's a little bit about me, and I hope I have helped you in some way. Have a good summer. Bye-bye.